Here we go, everybody. So we're back. So we're going ahead. We're looking into this issue here related to why the schema is not being created. So some of us have asked the AI. Yeah, I mean, that statement, the statement there to create schema, create schema authorization, all that, that's quite fine. Nothing wrong with that. But for whatever reason, I'm not seeing the schema being created. So let's see what the AI says. Let's see, did it make up the root problem, or is there an actual problem? Okay, let's see. So here, okay, so it needs to perform the connect, which is basically the line that it ripped out earlier on my question, why do we need this connect statement? Okay. All right, so connects to inside. Okay. So, but the script, all right, is run from, all right, to run from a Python script that already has a connection. Well, essentially is run from the command line tool, all right, that already has a connection. All right. Let's see what it says. Okay, right. Okay. Continue. Convince me. Solve the problem. Oh, as if well, yeah. Whatever. It knows what I meant. It's the AI. It is smart. All right, so what do we got here? Oh, okay. So now we have a connection. Okay, so I recently just dropped it. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's see what we get. Ba ba ba. Moment of truth. All right, here we go. Okay, this is exactly what we received before. So let's see what's going on. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Okay. Let's give the AI, let's see what the AI is going to say this time. We're getting to run around in circles, I believe, but hey. Oh, that's so fun. All right, so let's see what else we have. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're importing the okay, well, let's see where this goes. Okay. All right, so admin password. Okay. So now we're passing the password in, I suppose. Okay, so why didn't we do that before? Right? Not sure why we didn't do that before. Okay, so I guess we want to set this in the environment variable. That's fine, okay. So now will it update the script to add the password to the script? Let's see. Well, let's see. Got the user, database administrator. Okay, okay, username. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Right. Okay. Password is passed to the sub such and such so that then it doesn't prompt and such and such and such. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what we get. All right. All right. Okay. Cool. So now what? Oh. Wait a minute. Well, it just did prompt me anyway, right? So Let's drop the database first. Will it still prompt me for the password? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, cool. All right, so okay, wow, miraculous. Huh. Now let's see the so far so good. Well, so far no good. Let's say that. I'm not seeing any fix so far, but I mean this is rather interesting. Well, why doesn't it fix the thing? I'm not sure. Still prompting for the password. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's getting copy of the environment, slapping it in there, and then it's ripping out the password. Such and such and such. Okay, right. Okay, well, okay, so I guess I can actually set it on the command line, and then, I mean, well, I mean, sure, I guess I can do that. Kind of a weird thing. Let's see if I'm reading this right now. So basically, it wants this to be, I mean, okay. So basically, I set it on the command line, and it actually sets it into an environment variable so that, okay. All right. Oh, I said, okay, I see what's going on there. All right, let's go ahead with that. Okay, local, okay, sure. Okay. All right, sure thing. Okay, all right. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Let's see what we get. A little rethinking there. Wow. Okay, so we're actually what's going on here? Okay, so we are. Okay, we're actually using two different connect strings here. Okay, so okay, well let's see see how this one works out. Quite curious to see where we go. All right, so happy, happy, joy, joy. Oh my goodness, oh my boy. Okay, let's go ahead and do the dump. Let's go ahead and put that there. See if we still asked for it. No, we're not, but hey, we still got this wonderful conflicting issue here, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. All right. I'm not going to, give the AI, well, I'm giving it all the information. I mean, I don't know. Let's see here. All right, so. Okay, all right. Splitting things up here, huh? So we're gonna create another. Okay, this is interesting. So, well, let's see how it's gonna work this one out here. Huh. Okay, so we're doing everything in the Postgres file now. Huh? Okay. Well, nothing wrong with that either. Okay. Let's see what we get. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to delete everything though this time here. Might as well do the same thing in R. Yeah, we'll do the same thing here. So just doesn't obviously run as fast, but okay, that's fine. Prefer the SQL, but that is let's see here. Let's go ahead and locate that. Locate that here. There we go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. And go, there's our schema here, and there we have it. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, so there we go. So we got our schema created, and that is pretty much that. So we just had to run around with the AI. It didn't really tell us what the issue is here as to why this statement wasn't actually creating the schema. Reality is, all right, this statement, we could have just literally just created a script, all right, created a script. I mean, this is actually not bad, I mean, really, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, we could have just really created a script. And I'm not sure why I didn't do it in a simplistic way here, which is, I suppose because we have these parameters right here, so we could have literally, we could have done something like, something like that, like what it kind of did here, same kind of deal, and that most likely would have actually created the schema for us, right? So we can literally test that out and find out and see at some other point in time, pretty much what we're doing there. So not sure why the AI did not actually make that suggestion, but that's fine. So, but yeah. So anyway, so that's pretty much it. So this did not work out, at least the way expected for whatever reason. Still really haven't gotten to the bottom of it. But yeah, we did get here and printed out this information. So I mean, that pretty much worked. All right, so we will continue and proceed. Next video, we'll go ahead and look at this, and a couple of things that I could see here already in this thing. If I take a look, one thing I was thinking about, if we go back to our fancy schmancy diagram that we have here. Okay, here we go. All right, so if we look at our diagram, all right, so this is where we're getting the position information from. But notice when this was generated for us, all right, so we have the current location. This is not a good thing. All right, so what I mean by that is we don't need this. We don't need default. We don't need a default. We either want it to be there or not, all right? So for all these here, all these entries, we're just going to remove that because, all right, what we want to make sure, all right, is that the information and the data we're getting actually makes sense. So, if, for example, the data travels, oh, if, for example, the data of this individual maybe, or this phone, I should say, this phone is in California and this phone over here is somewhere in North Carolina, there's going to be a delay in transmission, right? So from here to the database, right? Assuming, let's assume they're in California, this individual is in North Carolina, this is housed in Amazon's, Virginia region somewhere or something like that. Coming from California all the way over to this, server, most likely there'll be some sort of delay between the time the position was created or generated, right? And the time that the data is received, right? So that means if we're actually specifying a default of now, assuming the user's phone for whatever reason didn't actually put a timestamp or, push a time, if we did make the application correctly on this side, if it didn't actually push the timestamp over with the actual position information, then we have a problem, right? We're going to have some inaccurate data as far as timelines and when we recreate where the user was at a specific point in time. So therefore, we want to actually get the time information from the device itself and not from the database. All right, so that's why that does not make any sense, that particular case. So that's why we have to review these things so that we understand what is what and what's going on. User token, right? We'll be generating that on the server side, so that should be fine. Database may not be running on the same instance as the microserver, or microservice, but that's fine. We can actually live with that. The token being generated at a particular time here. We probably might just let the microservice actually generate the time. Right, that way we know that the microservice generated that time and it's not default. So you want to know exactly where your data is coming from. You don't really want to have to guess, right? There's really no reason why, we should be guessing where this, where the timestamps come from. So, all right. So better to create the timestamp where the data was created. That's what I say, all right? So I'll take out these defaults. Oh, we have quite a few defaults. Okay. All right. Yeah, anyway, that's the way I prefer it. I prefer to actually create the timestamps where the data is created. So that way the associated data and the timestamp itself, you know exactly where they come from. You know what's the source of truth, so to speak. All right, so we'll get rid of all of those because I don't. Bye-bye. Okay. And there we go. So that those are all gone. What else was there at the moment? I think that's pretty much all I got here. At the moment, right? So we're just going to make sure that, hey, all of our timestamps are generated where the data is coming from at the time the data is created. There we go, timestamp. Boom. What else do we have? Boop, 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 boop. So, okay, this is cool. So it's going to actually purge anything older. So these will keep on churning along. So if we think about what's happening here, anything older than 7 days will be removed, right? Which makes sense. Well, because, based on our triggers, every single time we have an insert of data, our trigger will go ahead and run and insert data into the corresponding tables that where the data needs to be inserted. So that works. Okay. Okay, so that actually is not bad. See, alter on insert. So we know that it will cascade into the tables, and then what will happen here is anything that's older than 7 days, remove. Anything older than 30 days, remove. 90, 100, whatever. That way the data will keep on keeping on, right? And this is going to run on a schedule. Suppose we can run that once a day, I suppose. That's nothing wrong with that. Okay, or you know, once every 7 days, probably nothing wrong with that either. Okay. We'll do it once a day. Okay, so okay, this is the audit information. Audit data. I suppose it is what it is for right now, I suppose, right? So all of our these are our audit triggers. So anytime there's any kind of update or anything like that associated with the corresponding table, it will be triggered to insert some more data into our audit table. Yeah. So, okay, all right, so that's fine. I can dig that. Now let's see this right here. System, I'm okay with system, yeah, not really actually created by, right? So the whole idea here is that, you know, created by, we want that to, let's assume you have a couple of administrators in the system, right? Or users for that matter. I mean, you got users. Um, the user may actually create their, you know, I don't know, update their password or something like that. And based on this, if we perform an audit, we're actually going to get system. That right there doesn't work out, right? Because we're not actually getting the correct individual that performed the audit change based on that right there. So based on the script that was generated here. So that's another piece of information that we're going to change. We want that information to come straight from the location, or, you know, the actual user that actually made the change, right? So if the user makes a change, we want to ensure that we capture that user's name, right? Or ID, I should say. So, right. So if we have the audit information in our audit table, we want to make sure that the audit table has the correct information. That's pretty much it. You know, so from a security standpoint, we can actually backtrack and we'll know that, hey, all right, audit created, boom, bam. This is the individual that changed the record, right? So that's pretty much it. So, I mean, this could be audit created by, that could be the user ID instead of an actual, you know, character. We want to save space here. So, well, actually, a big int might be all right, bigger than that. So, but anyway, for our purposes, the audit created by should actually be a user ID, not a not a name. All right, we don't want to actually put a name in there. We want the user ID because usernames can change, and then that'll have to actually be, you know, if you think about what can happen, right? Let's say if a user changes their name, right? Now, if we want consistency in knowing what happened, right? You want to actually, or I should say, not even consistency. If you want to actually be able to quickly and easily look up who made the change, right? Then the user ID is easy, right? But if you have, for example, an issue where a user, let's say a user changes their username, now the username, even though we'll have a audit of when they changed the username, the old audit table or the old audit information will have an old username, right? That's why using a user ID here in the audit table probably makes more sense, right? That way, even though we know that this individual may have changed their username several times, we know that, hey, this is the user ID that changed that username. We can backtrack that and look at the records and all that quite easily. And also you want to also have an index that's based on the username for created by, because maybe you want to see reports, audit reports, and you want to know who created what, stuff like that, right? So anyway, that's an issue that we'll go ahead and fix. So all the audit tables will actually be user IDs, right? User ID, user ID, user ID, user ID, user ID, instead of what that is there. So, well, what else here? What else do we have? So we have this default user information that's going to be nixed out, and then we have the user ID. Whenever you're actually performing an audit, all of the audit information, you don't want any kind of defaults usually. Preferably, you want the audit record to be generated on wherever the change occurred. So wherever that thing is, that log or that event that's creating that log, you want that to actually generate all the meta information about what changed, and then save that into your audit logs rather than what we have here, right? So no defaults, take all that out, generate that audit information right there where the event that originated the audit log occurred. That's where you have the most accurate, fresh information at. Anyway, all right, hey, we'll fix that up in the next video, and then we'll also get to run this thing. Hey, thanks. All right, see you guys later. Bye.